What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're gonna talk some football. Houston Texans football. It is official due to the New Orleans Saints defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Houston Texans will officially be in this year's postseason, so we will get to see more football after Sunday. It is official, no matter what happens on Sunday. DeShaun Watson will get his first trip to the postseason. How do we feel as a fan base behind this? To be honest, after reviewing and rewatching yesterday's game, still mad, still upset, still feel that we squandered the opportunity possibly to be the number 2 seed. Well, not possibly. If you squandered the opportunity of getting the 2 seed, definitely for a fact squandered the opportunity of getting the 1 seed. Seeing that how Kansas City fall, the Chargers already got their loss, so all you need was Kansas City to lose to Oakland, and if you would have won out, you possibly could have been the number 1 seed. But you definitely that squandered that is officially squandered. There's still a slim chance of you getting the number 2 seed if you win against Jacksonville, and also the Patriots fall to the Jets, which is highly unlikely. But the Patriots don't look like a good football team right now. The New England Patriots, I believe when the New England Patriots get into in the postseason, they're going to lose their first postseason game. I don't see a team. I don't see a team. I know people. I know people want to say, "Hey, it's the Patriots. We count the Patriots out. The Patriots go through this every year. We count them every year. Eventually, that's going to come to an end." And just looking at every team that's going to be in the postseason or potentially be in the postseason, I can make a case for everybody. When it comes to the Colts, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, they can't keep up with them. The Patriots cannot keep up scoring with any of them. When it comes to the Titans, and when it comes to the Titans and the Ravens, they can't keep on the ground with them. They'll be able to run them out of the building the way that both of those teams' rushing attack is, and their front defense, especially the Ravens defense, will straight punish Tom Brady. And the same thing with the Texans. Texans have a pass rush. Now that back end is a problem, but with that pass rush, I don't think that they'll be able to protect Brady in that type of situations. I believe that the Patriots, I might eat my words, but I believe the Patriots will lose their first playoff game no matter who they face, to be honest with you. Even if it's the Steelers, same thing. If the Steelers get away into the playoffs, they can't keep up scoring with them. I don't think that with teams with elite offense who can put up points, who can put up 30 points like that, I don't see the Patriots keeping up with them. And then when it comes to the Titans and the Ravens, and somewhat the Texans, I don't think that their defense. I don't think that their offense can stop their defense. I think the defense can stop the offense rather. And then when it comes to the Titans and the Ravens, I think their ground game can straight outrun them. But enough about that. Let's talk about the Texans and the opportunity that the Houston Texans have about the postseason. Like I said, I feel that they squandered the opportunity of being the number 2 seed, small chance in getting number 2 seed, but they still got to take care of business versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And with you losing DT to ruptured Achilles, now you need to wonder, right? Like now the question marks now the legitimate question marks start to come in when it comes to this Texans and this offense. What do you do with the wide receiver position? What do you do with the ground game? Because your ground game was non-existent yesterday. Your ground game, you managed to get 62 yards or 63 yards rushing, and your quarterback DeShaun had 49 of those rushing yards. So your ground game is non-existent anyway because it's only 60-something rushing yards, and your quarterback gets basically 50 of those yards. Your ground game was non-existent. Now I know a lot of that's dealing with the offensive line. This offensive line might be one of the worst. It is not might be. It's definitely one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Most of that comes from the offensive line, but also comes from the backs that you have. I know we're missing Lamar Miller. I know people want to believe into this. I know coming into today's game, I think they were the third rushing offense in the NFL. I never bought into that rushing offense, to be honest with you. I know early on this year, like in the first couple of weeks when the Texans were losing, I think they were the number 1 rushing attack or number 2. Never bought into it then. I know Lamar Miller had some good games. I know the game against Buffalo, not Buffalo, but the game against Miami, he had over 100-some yards. I know the game against the Titans where he straight killed it. The 97-yard rushing attack and the 156-some yards running the football. I never bought into this team as a rushing team. I never bought into that rushing attack, that quote unquote number 3 rushing attack in the league. Because when it's 3rd-and-1, what do? They're not running the football. They don't run the football in situations that you need to run the football in. When you're on the goal line, they're not punching it in. I never believed in this rushing attack. I think that this rushing attack was a facade. Same thing with the way that the cornerbacks looked early on to the season. It was mostly on the opponents that you face, and you caught some good breaks in there. I know Lamar Miller got the 97-yard run. Hey, that's gonna boost up your average. It's gonna boost up your rushing average per carry. That's gonna boost up everything. Because remember, before this year, Lamar Miller was what, averaging like 3 rushing yards a carry. Like, he's not. I said this coming into the season that I did not fully trust Lamar Miller as your main back. I never did that. I always felt that he was a complimentary back. I never felt that he was a guy that you can give the ball to 20 to 25 times a game. I felt that you probably could with D'Onta Foreman, but him coming back from that Achilles injury, I don't know. I can't put my full faith in D'Onta Foreman because I don't know about a running back coming back from an Achilles injury, because that's something that's very, very, very delicate. When you're talking about running, you got to do cuts and things like that. So I never was very hyped about it. I was hopeful for D'Onta Foreman, but I never fully bought in. And like I've been saying this all year, I didn't care what Lamar Miller. I don't care if Lamar Miller was a Pro Bowler, rushed for over 1,000 yards, was second, third, or led the AFC in rushing. I still would cut him at the end of the year, because you save $7 million in cap space, and I would bring in another running back. Because we could talk about offensive lines all day long, but you have to be honest with yourself. Your running game is without talent. What running back on this team do you actually fear? If you were the biggest test, if you were the opposing team, are you scared of anything on this rushing attack? Are you scared of Lamar Miller? I don't care that he ran for 97 yards on one play. It's one fucking play. Yeah, he has 2, but come on. Really? Like, are you really afraid of Lamar Miller? Fuck no. D'Onta Foreman. I'm hopeful for D'Onta Foreman. I mean, I know a lot of Texan fans are. A lot of Texan fans are from the Houston area. He's from Texas City, which is a Houston area school. Texas is not that far from the city of Houston. Also, a lot of Texan fans happen to be Longhorn fans. So he's a Longhorn. So he's a hometown kid. I know he grew up a Texan fan. He went to school right about 2 hours away from the city of Houston. So a lot of people are hopeful. He throws on the Texan jersey, puts on the Texan helmet. Hey, I'm a fan. I'm hopeful for you. But do you really think that he is that superstar type of back who can get you 1,600 yards a year, 15 touchdowns season? Do you really think that he's that type of running back? Do you really feel that D'Onta Foreman is that type of back? If you do, by all means, continue to feel that way. I never felt that he was a superstar type of back. I think that you need a talent upgrade when it comes to the running back position. Now, again, it all starts with the offensive line. I do think if you get a better blocking, that you'll be able to produce more from the offensive line. But it also comes down with talent. And when it comes to D'Onta Foreman, I like D'Onta Foreman. I don't want to hurt him, crush him too bad for yesterday's game, because I think that he is definitely still, knocking off some of their rush, and you can't expect him. That's why I much rather seen him early on this year, to get on the field early on this year, to knock some of this rust off. Because I said that on Saw Sports when I think they asked me, I think Honcho asked me about D'Onta Foreman, and I told him I don't think you'll start seeing D'Onta Foreman to positive. It depends on when he comes. If he comes at the beginning of the year, you won't see D'Onta Foreman look like he did last year to the earliest of week 8. And if he comes by week 8, you won't see him look like himself until the postseason. He needs time to knock that rust off. But he's been on the active roster since the Texans game. Since the Titans game, rather. That was about a month ago. I really wish he would have been playing there. I wish Bill O'Brien would have activated him then, just for him to knock some of that rust off. And then also, he has an extreme issue with holding on to the ball. He had that issue in college. We seen it last year in the preseason. We seen it last year in the Chiefs game. We seen it again yesterday in a crucial spot. When no one touched him, the ball just bloop. I know people will say, "Oh, he's coming back from the injury." No, he's always had this issue. Like that's an issue that you deal with him. But if he's dynamic enough, he's making plays, you can deal with that. I think Adrian Peterson had the issue. Adrian Peterson had issue with holding on to the ball. But Adrian Peterson was a dominant running back in Minnesota. You take the good with the bad. Hey, he might spit the seed every now and again, but he's gonna get you 150 yards every game. He's gonna get you 100 yards every game, so you can deal with that type of issue. Man, he spits the seed, but hey, he gonna get you those rushing yards. Is Deontay Foreman that type of back that you can still deal with the issues of him spitting the seed? He has to get that under control. He has to get that under control. Now let's talk about the receivers, because you lose DT, Kiki's up in the air, and don't get it twisted. Hop is hobbled. I mean, he toughed it out like Iron Man. He came through and gave you money. He was legit. But he's not 100%. You can tell by some of the cuts he made that he doesn't have the same burst that D-Hop had all year. So now, DeAndre Carter, Vincent Smith got to step up. I heard Bill O'Brien's press conference, and kind of the same old thing. He's going to lean on the guys he already has. He's not thinking about bringing nobody in. And that's so foolish. That's so foolish. It really is. And I mean, I would think about bringing out Sammy Coles. I seen the post on Instagram. What about Jalen Strong? I know a lot of people probably rolling their eyes like, man, Jalen Strong ain't never do nothing. Actually, I thought that Jalen Strong never got a fair shot. In my personal opinion, I never thought that he got a legitimate fair shot, especially playing with number 4. Like, I would definitely want to see him play with number 4. I would definitely want to see him play with DeShaun Watson. So I want to see what he would look like with the type of quarterback, because DeShaun has showed you that he's completely legit. DeShaun Watson has showed you that he can make chicken soup he can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. He has showed you that. And not to call anybody out or talk down any of the receivers, but I mean, who knows? Vincent Smith and DeAndre Carter might be the next who know guys. You know, the guys that come up out of nowhere, like, man, they got some receivers over there in H. But Vincent Smith made plays where it was the second catch of his career, and it came at a crucial spot. He's a fast guy. So hopefully we can maybe use him. I guess maybe he would be taking up the space as far as the big plays downfield, because we know that DeShaun likes to throw big plays downfield. Hopefully Kiki plays. Hopefully Kiki has to play Sunday, because you have to win Jacksonville. Because back to how we feel about the Texans getting into the postseason. I don't want to backdoor my way into the postseason. I don't want to lose 2 games and then happen to be a wild card. It's not cool. You've had a 3-game division lead and you squandering it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You squandering it. I know DeShaun is a young quarterback. I know that we are Texan fans. We've been fans for this franchise since the beginning, or for a long time. And we are starving for a championship. We're starving for postseason success. But again, it starts and ends with number 4. And this is number 4's first shot, first crack. So we have to be a little bit patient when it comes to him. I know it doesn't seem that way when you're talking about the franchise. But when you have a 3-game lead on the division, I don't give a damn how good the damn division is. This is different. You had 3-game lead week 3. That's different. You had a 3-game lead in the month of November. Entering the month of December, you had a 3-game lead on the division. No, you had a 3-game lead in the month of December. And you squander it. That's completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And I know I was thinking about this, and I was talking about this after the Jets game when Bill O'Brien won his 10th game. That got the Houston Texans to it got the Houston Texans to the second time ever having double-digit wins. Well, no, third time ever having double-digit wins. First time under Bill O'Brien's career. And Bill O'Brien has had, out of 5 years, has had 4 winning seasons. Before he got here, the franchise only had 3. So he's had 4 in his 5-year tenure And the franchise previously only had 3. That was '09, the 9-7 season, 2011, the 10-6 season, the 2012, the 12-4 season. Now remember, you had a lot of you working out a franchise in the beginning, and he was inherited. I know the team he got was 2-14, but it was a year removed from a 12-14. So he got a team that had pieces in it. Now, of course, outside of J.J., Clowney, and Kareem, everybody else in this team is different. Nobody else on this team outside of J. Joe, Merciless, and Kareem played on that 2012 team. That's it. Everybody else has only been here from 13 and now. And then the only people that's been here from 13 is Hop and Ryan Griffin. Everybody else is Bill O'Brien's guys. So you talking about everybody else on this team is a guy that's been brought in since Bill O'Brien's been the head coach. Outside of the guys I just named. So he has had put his mark on his team, so I don't think that he will get fired because of that situation. But if you have a 3-game lead on the division in the month of December and you squander it and you're playing on the road playoff weekend and you lose, because this is the Texas scenario more than likely. The Texans will either be hosting the Colts or the Titans, or they'll be going to Indianapolis or Nashville. Because if the Texans lose to the Jags, whoever wins that Titan-Colt game wins the division. So either you're going to be hosting the Colts or the Titans, or you're going to be going into Nashville or Indianapolis. That's more than likely what's going to happen. That's more than likely what's going to happen. And if you have to walk into Nashville or walk into Indianapolis and you lose after holding a 3-division game, you got to walk into their building after you had a 3-game division lead and you happen to lose your first playoff game now? That's completely unacceptable. Completely. And I'm not talking about this from DeShaun, because DeShaun showed you greatness. I'm talking about from the head coach. That's completely unacceptable. It is. From the head coach, from the defensive coordinator, I don't give a damn about injuries. You have number 4 and number 10 out there. So, you have to take care of business. This is the bottom line. You have to take care of business. I would like for you to bring in another receiver, just for the simple fact of having another healthy body out there. I would like to see either Jalen Strong or Sammy Coates. You need another receiver just in case something happens, just for another bite. Because if you go out there, if say Kiki doesn't go, say Kiki is a no-go, he can't go. So you walking out there in a playoff situation with your receivers being Hop, which is the best receiver in the league, who you trust, a rookie in Vincent Smith, who you're not trusting, and then a guy that you picked up off the streets a couple weeks ago in DeAndre Carter. Those are the guys that you're going to be relying on in a playoff situation. And if something happens to one of them, you have to run Joe Webb, who is your third-string quarterback, as your slot receiver. That's what you're going to have to do. That's if Kiki's a no-go. You have to add someone else into this equation. Bottom line. Don't sit on your hands. That's something that Texans normally do. We've known as a franchise, we know the injury happened. Oh, shucks, injury happened. And we sit on our hands and we watch the rest of the season go by. This year was a little bit different. After the Will Fuller goes down, we go out and get Demaryius Thomas. We activate, we see Sharice Rice get beat. We activate Kayvon Webster, which might just be non-existent because even though we activate him, he only plays a play and he's gone. And then you go out there and you go and you activate Deontay Foreman to help this running game get some type of burst. So we've been doing this thing off the field as far as behind the scenes making moves. Don't stop now. Because it's getting nut-cutting time. It's getting to their crucial time. And I believe that this is the time when DeShaun's going to show you his absolute greatness. Because when the pressure gets on, when the pressure gets mounted, I think it's a pressure situation. You win the division. You lose. You now go on the road for your first playoff game. I think he wants to play in NRG. The way that JJ looked, the way that Honey Badger looked, the way that Clowney looked after that game, let's say, they looked at straight pissed. And JJ's been dominant all year. Yesterday, JJ was like it was like he didn't even play. It was one of those games that JJ. It seemed like the year caught up to JJ. The JJ has been on this phenomenal carpet ride all year long, and I think that hopefully this is me wishful thinking. Hopefully that's eating at him all for the rest of this week. The next 6 days, eating at him, eating at him. All through Christmas, where they family open up Christmas gifts and they drinking eggnog and all that nice fine stuff, singing Christmas carols. It's eating at them. It's eating at them. It's eating at them. Because they squandered the opportunity for the number 2 seed. And the way it looks, you might squander the opportunity for the number 1 seed. But if you get that number 3 seed, even though that's you still playing on wild card weekend, something that you're trying to avoid because that rest would have been huge. But at least you still have the division lead. I mean, you still win the division. You have the home playoff game. You don't have to go on the road. You don't have to go to Nashville or Indianapolis. You get to go home, stay home rather, and let Nashville or let the Titans or let the Colts come in to Houston, and it'll be round 3 for one of them. It'll be round 3 for one of those matchups. Which you did an even split. You did an even split between the Titans, did an even split between the Colts. It's going to be more than likely a round 3, but will a round 3 be in Houston on one of those 3 spots? One of those 2 spots. Which spot will that round 3? Now, you got to take care of your business against the Jags, who are going to come in ready to play spoiler. But then it's not really too much of a spoiler because the Texans are officially in the playoffs. They'll just be spoiling the division. So who knows how Jacksonville mindset? Who knows if they just ready to go home and call it a year because they talk so much trash and all that trash they've been talking has been biting them in the ass all year. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen Sunday. But you have to come to play. You have to come to play because number 4 and number 10 playing too damn hard. They playing too damn good to see these L's. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell to get more videos. I holla.